Is your foundation often yellow, pink, or orange?
Are your veins not clearly green or blue?
You look good in both gold and silver jewelry.
Then you might have
Olive
olive
undertones.
undertones.
If you feel seen, this video will help you to guide through from the basics of olive undertone to finding perfect matching shade of foundation and other color makeup for all skin complexion. So let's get started. So first thing first, what is skin undertone? Skin undertone is a hue beneath the surface color of your skin, which never changes even when you get tan. In the beauty market, there are typically 3 undertones: warm, cool, and neutral. Knowing your undertone is very important, especially when buying new foundation or concealer, because the same shade with different undertones can look completely different, even if they have the same brightness. Normally, brands label the foundation shade with alphabet. W is for warm undertones, C is for cool undertone, N is for neutral. If they have olive, O is what it stands for. So then what is olive undertone? Olive skin can be found in any skin tone, any ethnicity. If you have olive undertones, your skin might look slightly green or gray. Also, you might not just have one undertone. Your face could look more neutral while your body has more of an olive undertone like mine. In the beauty market, this olive undertone is often overlooked because it is easy to make it for neutral. So then what is the difference between neutral undertones and olive undertones? When you compare a foundation with a neutral undertone to one with an olive, you will see a big difference. Even though neutral and olive undertones are different undertones, they can actually work together very well. The reason is, first, when you have olive undertones and there is no shade options for olive, most of times neutral shade works the best among other options. Second, when you use a foundation with olive undertone, but if you find it looks too ashy or greenish and makes your face seem dull, you can use a concealer with neutral undertones in the center of your face to brighten and add more color. As I mentioned earlier, olive undertones can be warm, cool, and neutral, but there is no such an exact color for each undertone. Instead, think of them as a part of spectrum. If you see the spectrum of undertones, warm, cool, and neutral, and add a hint of green, it can create a more diverse spectrum of olive undertones. For example, if you look at Smisa and Nin, you will see they have similar skin brightness but different undertones. Both actually have warm undertones, but Smisa's are more neutral while Nin's are more olive. So we could say Smisa has neutral/olive undertones and Nin has olive undertones. Then how to identify whether you have olive skin or not? There are 3 ways to find your perfect match, starting from the most accurate test, which is swatching your foundation or concealer with different undertones. Collect as many different shades of foundation or concealer as you can. You can borrow from your friends with similar skin brightness for more accurate tests, or even ask for a foundation sample when you visit Sephora. Let's say you have 5 different foundation shades. Check the colors under natural light and see which one matches your natural complexion the closest. After applying the foundation, check these 3 things. First, does the foundation with neutral undertones look too orange? Then, does the foundation with warm undertones too yellow? Then, lastly, does the foundation with cool undertones look too pink? If you tick all these 3 things, you might have olive undertones. If you don't have any foundations or concealers to compare, try this friends comparison test. Compare yourself in a picture with friends who have similar skin brightness. The pictures should be taken under natural light. Even if you and your friends have similar skin brightness, you may have different undertones. The more friends you compare yourself with, the more accurate the test will be. By comparing as many as friends you can get a sense of idea which undertone you might have. I have a full video how I found my undertone, so please check it out if you haven't. Last test is a vein test, and this is the least accurate test actually, because it is harder to determine the exact shade of your vein color. If you have an olive undertone, you might have mix of green and blue veins. When you even get tan, it becomes harder. But if I show you my models with olive undertones, you will notice that they all have veins with both blue and green hues. But since some models' skin got tan during this summer, it was harder to notice their undertones by just looking at their vein color. So consider this as a bonus test if you pass all these previous 2 tests and you just want to make sure that you have olive undertones. Then how to choose a perfect foundation or concealer if you have olive undertones? If you finally find that you have olive undertones, go to Sephora or brand's website and look for products with olive undertones. If they don't have shades labeled as olive, neutral foundation will be a great alternative. Then how to fix foundation or concealer when it doesn't work for olive undertones. When the foundation looks too yellow, you are going to mix a shade with cool undertones. When the foundation looks too pink, you are going to mix a shade with warm undertones. When the one looks too orange, you are going to mix it with a green corrector. So then what color of makeup suits olive undertone the best? For eyeshadow, neutral shades of brown work really well for light olive skin. When the color is very warm or cool, it will make the green in your skin more obvious, so it is best to go for more neutral shades. When it comes to choosing neutral brown shades, top works really well. For our light skin model Mariia, we used the top shade all over her lips and it suited her skin beautifully. She has a cool olive undertone, so cool shades works better for her than warm ones. That means purple, lilac shades work really well too. In the same eyeshadow palette, we picked top lilac shimmer to add more sparkle on her eye. With a deeper cool brown shade, we added more depth on her creases. It turned out so beautiful and blends really well with her natural skin color. If you have light to medium skin and want to find the perfect brown shade, neutral browns works the best. For our light skin model, Sumisa, we use a neutral brown eyeshadow palette and pick a mid-tone brown shade for her lids. It naturally blends with her complexion, enhancing her natural beauty. For warm olive undertones, copper brown works really well. In the same palette, we use a deep copper brown shade to define her crease, and it blended seamlessly with her natural skin tone. If you have olive undertones, green eyeshadow might not be obviously your first choice, but it can be flattering on people with neutral or full olive undertones, especially with deeper complexions. I'm not talking about the vivid green color, but muted olive green color. On our model Ciele, we use a shimmery green olive eyeshadow on her lids, and it beautifully complemented her neutral olive undertones. For light skin with cool or olive undertone, we pair her lavender eyeshadow with a dusty rose shade to maintain a cohesive, muted look. Since she leans towards cool undertones, a muted pink looks so much better on her than a warm pink shade. If you have olive skin that leans more towards the warm side, try a neutral peach shade. Peach has more warmth than pink, so if you have warm olive skin, a peach shade will complement your natural skin tone. For light medium or medium skin, instead of choosing a too bright peach color, a neutral peach shade will be more flattering. If you have olive or neutral undertones with a deep skin tone, a soft mauve shade will work really well. If your blush is too saturated or too cool, it won't be flattering, especially when you have neutral olive undertones. So it is best to choose a soft or muted shade, especially when it has more red in it. We use a soft mauve shade on our model, and it looks beautiful on her. When it comes to choosing the perfect lipstick shade, rather than picking a nude color that might make your look too washed out, it is better to choose a muted peach or muted pink shade. For our model Mariia, we chose a muted peach shade to maintain a soft, muted tone, and it looks beautiful on her. If you have light medium skin with warm olive undertones, a muted warm rose shade is one of your best choices. For our model Smisa, we apply a muted warm rose lip gloss on her lips, which complements her skin tone beautifully. Especially for an everyday look, it doesn't draw too much attention to your lips, yet still gives you a fresh appearance. If you have a deep complexion with neutral or olive undertones, a muted beige shade will look great on you. On our model Ciele, we apply a muted beige lip gloss, which added a touch of color without being too overpowering and beautifully complement her natural skin tone. So that's all about olive undertones. I hope you guys find this very helpful. I know you guys have been asking me to make this video for a long time, and I'm so glad I did it. And also I'm seeing more brands starting to create more shades for olive undertones, and I hope this video brings more awareness to olive undertones and more brands actually come out with more diverse shades for olive undertones. Very soon I'll be sharing makeup recommendation for olive undertones, so please stay tuned. If you are still confused whether you have olive undertones or not, please comment down below. I'll be answering some of your questions in my next video about olive undertone makeup recommendations. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!